Yaw Smatmcuks Nts Laaqwmays Stl'mstaliwa new week let's see new Stam. That thing I'm going to tell you here today is a quick little story of the Greeks, the originators of civilization, and so on and so forth. Or I guess you could say like Western civilization, because they weren't the originators of bannock and rice, I'll tell you that much. So what I am going to be getting into today is a quick little story of Orpheus and Eurydice, I believe is how it's pronounced. I don't know. Any of you Greek mythology buffs in the comments below, let me know, please. Thank you. Eurydice is how I'm going to pronounce it anyway, so nothing you can do about it. The value of the word that we are focusing on today is Stl'cw, which is, I guess, like taboo, is how I kind of interpret it. Like things that were done by ancestors that the people were like, yeah, no, that can't happen no more. You know, like the first person to ever stay inside the paint for longer than 3 seconds, they're like, oh, that's cheating. So what we're going to be telling is the story of Orpheus, who was a very talented musician. And he was a part of the Odyssey, I believe, with Odysseus and Jason and all of those Trojans and stuff. And he was on his way back with his wife. And his wife, Eurydice, got bit. Died. You know, that's kind of what happens when you get bit by a snake. And so distraught was Orpheus that he waited. Or this is where I kind of get a little bit confused. I can't remember if he waited for like the thing of death to come to him and then he like followed it, but I believe that's what it is. He went and talked to like all of the people of the world, and I think it was Hermes who told him where to find, because Hermes is one of the messengers of the gods, so he knows where all of the little nooks and crannies and back doors and sliding doors and windows and stuff are into all the different worlds and realms. So Hermes told him about this rock that would open if you could play some music or something like that. And he goes and he plays a song. He, probably more than Just a Friend, or Just a Friend, by Biz Markie is probably what he plays. And he goes and he sings this song, and it opens up. This like tree, this rock opens up. And it's this like very narrow cave, and he starts crawling into it. And they say that like the farther that he gets into it, the more and more smaller that it feels like it's getting, until he gets towards the end, and it feels like the rocks are gonna squish him. But he keeps pushing through, and he keeps pushing through, and he goes through to Hades, and he asks for Eurydice, his wife, back, because he says, I didn't see her through the entire war, and then I come back, and the first moment that we spend together, she dies. That's not fair. That's not right. After everything I've given for my nation and for this country, this is how the gods treat me? No, I don't accept it. That is not acceptable to me. And so Hades, feeling the love for his wife, and also kind of feeling the hatred for the other gods, because he too was given the short end of the stick and was forced into the most unpleasant of those realms, in which he was the caretaker of. So he felt this man's pain, and also he got his wife in maybe a way that the gods would not approve. So he tells them, okay, yeah, you can take her, but here's the thing, is you got to go back the same way that you came in from, but you have to walk first, and you are not allowed to look back to see if your wife is following you. And you have to trust me, you have to believe in me, which I know is hard because I'm a god, but you have to. If not, your wife will stay here forever and always. and no soul will be allowed to ever travel back to that of the living. And this is the part of the story where I really resonate with Orpheus. Because you think about your loved one. It doesn't have to be a girl or a wife, a former lover. Because those, I don't want to say that they'll come and go, but they will. And maybe they'll go and they'll never come back again. And that's okay. As long as they're happy, as long as they're doing okay. That's all that matters. If you truly love them, that's all that matters. And walking through this darkness and knowing that you have your ancestors, knowing that you have your loved ones on your back, but you can't hear them, and you can't see them, but you know they're there, and you so desperately just want to turn around and tell them, I'm doing good. Ask them if they're proud of you. I think we all kind of feel that to some level in our heart. And he turns around, as they always do in these stories. Whatever you're not supposed to do, they always end up doing. And he turns around and he sees her fully in flesh. And as she disappears, she turns into like a ghost and is never to be found again. Orpheus, however, he continued in the land of the living. He wrote a bunch of songs, made a bunch of music, and that was his legacy. Yeah, I'm sorry, I got kind of emotional there. Just thinking about my loved ones that are no longer here. And this time of the month is really tough for that, because they're usually quite present in my life around this time of year. And just knowing that they're not anymore, it's really tough. But like I said, you just gotta make sure that you're okay. One foot in front of the other. Chin up. Love yourself. And even if you can't love yourself, if you feel like that's an impossible task, be okay with yourself, I think, is the bare minimum there. Sorry to drop the mood or the vibe, as the children say nowadays. Yeah, that doesn't really have a whole lot of bunch to do with Stl'cw, but it kind of does, and then it just also holds like a nice little message in there. Yeah, don't really have a whole lot more to add on to that. I'm just gonna log off and say Laaqwmays. Salutations from your favorite salmon belly.